Hi guys, welcome to Secure Chain Fridays, a secure supply chain series. Good evening. And last Friday we talked about one of the aspects of security supply chain, that was GRIDE. Now, today we will learn something new. Today we will discuss about something that has to be implemented a step earlier. That is, so it is a three component and it is a three pillar thing. So let's get started. I'm Ishwarya and I'm a DevSecOps engineer at Initialize Labs. So these are the three components of early security shell. First one is the concept. Second one is the technique. And the third is the tool we use to execute this concept so we can catch vulnerabilities beforehand. So the concept is software component analysis, where we analyze open source tools and dependencies that we use while we create an application. So often we take components and libraries from other sources. So it can be a problem while while the version is not up to date or there's some security issue in that particular component. So to implement SCA, since it's a concept, to implement it, we have SBOMs. We create SBOMs, which is an abbreviation for software bill of materials. And to create SBOMs, we use a tool called SIFT. So that is what's our agenda today. It is learning about SBOMs and their utilities and how can we create SBOMs with SIFT. So just like last time, we'll go through the prerequisites and installation process. And at the end, we'll explore the powers of initialize.ai because we aim to reduce your effort and increase your productivity. So you can just focus on the development side and we'll take care of the deployment. So this is our topic for today, SIFT, decoding software security through transparency. So what are SBOMs? SBOMs offer a detailed inventory of software components, including libraries, frameworks, and their versions. So to say in a layman term, it is the ingredients that we see at the end of the packages the food we eat. So we are often concerned if we are taking enough calories or not, or if it is there's too much sugar in it. So that's what we have to do with our software as well. We have to check for the components, and that's what SBOM does for us. So that was the gist of what SBOMs can do, and these are the utilities that it provides. So as you can see, it enhances transparency, and these documents that are the SBOMs aid in understanding the software's composition, allowing for easier identification and mitigation of security vulnerabilities. So tracking open source components ensures compliance and licensing as well. So it just suggests that you stick to the industry standards, and time to time, when you do the vulnerability management, you see that there's some vulnerabilities dependent on the versions. So time to time, open source tools update and patch their security issues. So it is very necessary that we also pull the latest versions. So by this, we ensure improved security and supply chain integrity. And then there's, of course, vulnerability assessment, the major component of any security shell, that you have to assess all the vulnerabilities that are critical and you have to fix them right away. So that's what SBOM does. So as a concept, SBOM create the whole metadata and the whole list of dependencies. And later on, at the next step, just like we learned in the last video, that how we check vulnerabilities with GRIDE, you use this document to process it into a vulnerability scanner, and it shows that how you can fix those vulnerabilities as well. So these are some of the popular SBOM formats. Um, Number one is Cyclone DX. It is a lightweight SBOM format that's gaining popularity these days. So it focuses on being easily readable by humans and machines, providing details about software components, including the versions and dependencies. So it is the most simplest and the most interoperable one. So if you want, you can use the Cyclone DX one. The default one, when we will be using Anchor Sift, it will be a tabular format, but you can change it with commands. Another one is SPDX. The full form is Software Package Data Exchange. So this particular format highlights licenses and copyrights associated with components. So it is like widely used for software that want to check their compliance and intellectual property rights. Now there's sweet tags. These are for unique identifications. And later on, we have JSON and XML that you can use with the Cyclone DX, and you can XML with I think SPDX. So, and you can also create custom formats, but that is something for some other day. So now we'll be talk about our major highlight of the day, that is syft. So it is also an open source tool with the parent as Anchor, and it is used to mainly analyze container images and provide detailed insight into their context. So as we talked about, what SBOM does is created with syft, and it is also very easy to use. And the major utility, or what you can say, um, how why it is so popular, or why is it so powerful, is because it also lays the underlying dependencies. It just not skims on the top, but you can also see the layered dependencies. Like if that open source tool is also calling some other library or some other dependency or versions, it will be shown under that as well. That's how when we use gripe, we can see underlined vulnerabilities as well. So the prerequisites for SIFT, that you can have OS as Mac, Linux, or Windows. You Python 3 should be installed. Actually, it's optional, but SIFT runs on Python, so it would be better if you have it. And we need pip, the Python package manager. So, um, so these are some of the installation commands. Don't worry, I'll be showcasing the whole process. And so with URL, as always, we can always use the URL to install this. I will be using WSL. That's again the Windows subsystem for Linux. So I'll be using Homebrew. You can also use Homebrew for Mac. And if you want to run it on Windows, you can always use Scoop or Choco. So it's up to you. So if till now anyone has any questions, you can tell me, and later on we'll right in the second we'll just go on the installation process. Okay. So no questions? Okay, no problem. So as we talk about, this is the WSL, and I'll be using Homebrew. So it's a simple command that's brew install syft. You don't have to add the anchor tag. If you want, you can tap into it, but it's fine. Right. So I had syft installed here, and this is the latest version. Now I have an image that I can use. You can either use containerized image or a directory with the Docker file, just like Drive. So today I'm using a latest image of an application we have. So let's do that. So as you can see, there's many formats for this. I'm using the default one right now because it will show a clear and concise view of what we are using here from the open source environment. So while this is scanning, if you guys have any ideas of what we should come up next, like any ideas or anything you want that I should create the content with, you can drop it in the comments. So as you can see, these are all the open source tools that we are using with all the versions. And now if I scan it with a vulnerability scanner, I will be able to see those vulnerabilities just like this one. In the last video we were talking about this one, so I think it's fixed now. So this was the tabular format, the default one. If you want to change the format, you can do you can use O flag, that's for output, and I am going to use Cyclone DX. So I will show you how it shows the underlying dependencies as well. Let's So as I said, you can use Cyclone DX with either JSON or XML. It's up to you. So you can see that this has expanded, and now it is showing the whole definition of what the open source tool is about and their layers and their IDs. So if you want to check, you can check on pretty print, and it will show this into a JSON format that's in a pretty print. So other formats are SPDX that you can also use. So this is the SPDX format. It it is using all the licenses, showing all the licenses over here. You can see what it contains, like this. Right here, you can see everything. So this was mostly how you use SIFT to see all the dependencies. I'd say go with the tabular one first, and if you want to check something, you store it into a file and check for that. So that was mostly about SIFT. Now, how do you use it? You take vulnerability scanner can directly scan an image as well. But when we are into an SDLC cycle, we use different stages. So first there's dev, and then there's a packaging, and then we do the software component analysis. After that, it goes to the scan stage where a tool scans the vulnerabilities. So by using the underlying dependencies, or by checking those, we can check for the most minute vulnerabilities as well and create a security shell around our software development cycle. So that's why it is called an early security shell, because we are doing it one step earlier. We are not actually using the test automation or something, but we are doing it earlier, right after the development step. So this was it. This was mostly about SIFT. But you still need a little proficiency to use Docker images or to create Docker file into your repository. So if you are scared or you have an idea of a application, what you can do is you can use initialize.ai, that it is an DevSecOps unified platform which can easily reduce your effort. So I'm going to show you, but before that, I'm going to introduce you for the first time viewers that this application, like this platform, easily uses your clones your whole repository, and then it goes through a lot of cycles, a lot of stages from in a SDLC, and then it deploys the after the application after a time of, like, if you approve it and after staging in production. So there are different environments and everything. So if you create an application here, you don't have to worry about using syft or any other what do you say, any other open source tool or vulnerability scanner or containerized image scanner or dependency scanner, anything, because you don't even have to worry about creating SBOMs, because we will be doing that for you. And you just have to worry about creating a great application or creating a code that displays your innovation. So I'll be using the same application because so we can check that yes, this is working, and you can see that everything is working just like we we got the results in SIFT. So here, if you don't have the proficiency of DevOps, if you are new to DevOps, or you are a single individual, or you are just a startup who doesn't have a team of DevOps people or experts, or even if you have this and you don't have the security experts on your hand, you will always be vulnerable to the internet if you deploy your applications, because there's always the malware out there which can hinder the security of your application. So what we do, we um, we create a security shell right at the start, right from here after we package your application. And at the STA stage, just like I said, the concept of software component analysis, we we check all the dependencies and all the open source tools that you're using, and we scan it, and we see if there's any vulnerability. So you don't have to worry about either creating SBOMs. You don't have to worry about learning about SBOMs. I would suggest that you learn about SBOMs, but you don't have to worry about it, that we don't have the expertise or anything. And you don't have to worry about the creating a security shell. And also, uh, DevOps is not a one-time process. Say you do it one time by yourself, and you already have a lot of your plate, that you have to create the uh, application, you have to worry about its marketing. So you'll it would be on the top of your head, you know, it would just be on the side. So we will do that for you, and plus our platform is super easy to use. So as you can see, right here we have all the dependencies that we were using here. This is the same as we did in the tabular format. It is all because we are also using SIFT as an open source tool, and we are using also other tools. So we have a surround security check. As you can confirm, we have all the dependencies from SIFT here, and our platform is doing the same for you within seconds. Not only this, we will scan it the later stage with Drive. Then it will be going to a deploy test. And if you are satisfied with all the results, you can approve it and it will go on to the later stage of staging and prod. So that was mostly about software component analysis, SIFT, SBOMs, and what do you say about initializer.ai. So this that was most of it for today, and I would like to know if you have any thoughts or any suggestions of what we should come up with next. So for next Friday, we have salsa on our table. So if you guys want to suggest any track that we should create or any other cloud native tech track that you want to learn more about or the prowess of our application, you can pin it or you can just write it into the comments or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is in the description. Also, we have a Discord server where we share about our latest events and latest information about the cloud native environment. So talking about events, we have a webinar about initialize.ai and what Initialize Labs does on 10th of January. So if you guys want, that is also linked into the comments and the description box. If you want, you can check and you can join that. I'd say I'd be very, I'd be very grateful if you could join. And that was most of what we. If you like the video, please like and subscribe our channel. And thank you. I'll see you next Friday.